Hi, welcome to a demonstration of AppRx for SaaS-based application currency analysis. This video, which is the second in a three-part series, will demonstrate how application currency analysis can help rationalize a portfolio and fast-track applications to Windows 7 or 8, reducing the scope of applications that require deep compatibility testing by 50% or more. For a demonstration of how AppRx can cleanse and rationalize large application inventory lists, or accelerate application compatibility testing with our SaaS platform, please see the first and third videos in this series respectively. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do, I've logged into my tester account here. I'm going to import a CSV containing some application information. So I'm just going to go ahead and navigate to where my folder is containing that file. And this file can be an output from SCCM or an Excel spreadsheet or anything that you can put into a CSV format. We require the version name, the version publisher, and the version number to do this piece of analysis. The architecture is optional. The system will default to 32-bit, but if you do have 64-bit applications within your portfolio, you can select those either through here or by including an architecture column within your CSV. The other thing you can do is include custom user field information. I've included a number of users in this particular spreadsheet, but you can include whatever you want. So anything that can help you group your applications or help you with your rationalization criteria, that kind of thing. You might choose to use departments or application owner names, things like that. So anything you can think of that would be helpful for you for this process, you can go ahead and include those columns as well. And import that information into AppRx. So once you've got your applications there, you go ahead and click on Import. You can repeat that process until your inventory is built up to where you need it to be. The application groupings, which I touched on in the first video in this series, are here, and these just represent logical groupings of your application deployment. So anything that you want to reflect the actual group of apps that you need, whether it be for an application owner or if you're putting specific applications on a specific line of business, desktop, or something like that. So you can put some thought into how you want to group those apps, and then the reports created there are going to be a little bit more relevant for you. The licensing of your applications is also done at this point. And once you have your application list ready, you can go ahead and license your individual applications for a currency analysis, and that's where we provide all of this vendor information that can help you make some decisions around where you want to go with your application migration. So the application name, end of support date, and the version number of the application that you have in your inventory right now is here. The latest compatible with is the one that the vendor has most currently available, and then the N- information shows you the difference between your version and the most current. So in terms of compatibility, maybe you want to be no more than 5 versions behind or 10 versions behind or something like that, and that can be reflected really easily by just looking over at the N- column. One thing we can do here for this group of applications, I'm in the all group now. I've created a retail line of business folder here. I've got 231 apps in there. So if I was curious to see which of these applications that I already have in here that are going to be supported on Windows 7 as is, that's really easy to do just by creating a filter. So I can go ahead and do that here. So under compatible with, again with my current crop of application versions here, I'm going to say show rows that contain, and I'll just type in Windows 7. You can just add 7 if you want. Go ahead and apply that filter. And then the applications that are going to be displayed here are applications that are good to go as is. So I can now scroll down. You can select a bunch of apps all at once. You can pick a couple or drag them all over, whatever you want to do. But regardless, come down, grab your applications, click, drag over to the left, and create an application group. So these are supported as is on 7. So I can go ahead and create a report based on that, send that over to my UAT guys, and they know which applications they can start working on for functional testing, while I focus my efforts on the remainders, and the see if there's a migration path there for me, or if I might need to move on to compatibility testing. The reporting around this, I've already created this one for you. The retail line of business again. You can go in and select any group that you want. We're already in the retail group. I've selected Windows 7 as my target platform and created this report. So this is going to show me out of those 231 applications right away. I know that 13 aren't compatible, meaning that the version that I have now, and then if the vendor has a newer one, it's still not compatible on Windows 7. So I've got 13 applications right there that are candidates for application testing. I have 94 applications in this group that are compatible if I upgrade them. Pretty straightforward there. The version that I have in my environment is not compatible with 7, but the vendor says, well, we do have a version that is. You'd have to upgrade to get that functionality. So that's 94 apps, or 41% of your portfolio. But the really cool feature here is, you've got 54% of your portfolio, or 124 applications that are compatible as is. So I don't really need to spend any time on testing those. I already know which apps they are, which versions they are. They're all listed in the report here. I can go ahead and send that over to the testing groups and move forward. All of these are exportable. These reports are exportable as PDFs, CSV files. You might want to export them as an Excel spreadsheet. Maybe make your own notes. Again, you can add another column beyond what's in the report, add some other information to it, and then re-import that as a CSV file, and then that information will be stored within AppRx to give you kind of a one-stop shop for the whole migration project. Some of the other information that we gather, the N-, end of support, all those other things, they're all collected, and we can show you that as a risk overview report for your portfolio in its entirety, or as an individual line of business report as well. So you can adjust the thresholds here, but what we're trying to do is show you, based on the age of the application, end of support date, compatibility, so on and so forth, what the overall risk to the portfolio is. So taking all that information and applying a weighting to it, you might care more if you're 4 versions behind, or 7 versions behind, or whatever that number is, or 6 months or 8 months or 10 months away from end of support. Then you can come in, tweak those numbers around, and that'll change the weighting that's applied in this report. So the average risk factors are here. The ratings by risk factor, we've got N-, end of support. Frequency of releases, so how many releases a year does that vendor typically put out for that application? And end of life, meaning the application is just dead. The vendor's discontinued any updates to that app, or rolled that functionality into some other product, and there won't be any further updates to it. So all of those things combined will give you a risk portfolio like this, where you can look at your apps and say, well, low to minimal risk, that's fine. I don't really need to do anything there. But as you move up to the high and critical areas, you know that you've got some work to do. You can also use this to help you with your rationalization. Again, application age or end of support. So if you do have some high-risk applications in your environment, then you can go ahead and pull those out based on some of the information that you see in these reports. Once again, completely exportable, PDF, CSV, whatever you need to do to give those to your customers. So in this module, I've just showed you that the AppRx currency analysis is going to provide you with that empirical data that's going to allow you to review and rationalize applications, kind of determine the best path. So you might want to retire an app, replace it, upgrade it, or move it on to testing, which is the next video in this series. So AppRx also provides a centralized repository for your comprehensive app data. That way you can manage all your applications in one spot. It's going to be accessible to anybody in the world as long as they have a web browser and access to the internet. And they'll be able to do that throughout the whole migration process and then going forward beyond that. So the next video is going to be on application testing, and that's just going to demonstrate the ease and speed with which apps can be tested for compatibility using our SaaS platform. We can test it for Windows 7, Windows 8, or even desktop like AppV or Citrix NF.